Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Riptide807 here, and we are back with the 10th episode of the Riptide Ramble. It is that series where every Friday I talk about something in the gaming space that I just kind of want to talk about. And this week, we are talking about Season 9 of the Finals, and basically my first impressions of it. As of the recording of this voiceover, I've put about 7 or 8 hours, I think, into the new season. I've tried the new mode, I've played on the new map, I've pretty much experienced everything that the season has to offer, and I'm basically just going to give my first impressions of it. So if you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's jump just straight into this. So let's start off with something easy, the new map. Holy crap, Embark continues to amaze me at their ability to make unique maps for this game, because Fangway City, I think that's how you say it, hopefully, is probably one of the most detailed maps they have added to the game, to the point where when me and Jace were playing on it, we were genuinely surprised with the fact that the map was even running a stable frame rate, because it looks really good. And unlike Kyoto, which looks good but plays bad, so far Fangway City seems to look good and also play well as well, which is great to see for a new map. You know, I've always said I'm not the biggest guy when it comes to new maps, because I just think the finals does a really good job adding new maps that really take a long time to get stale, and Fangway City is no exception. I mean, the map looks and plays incredibly, and that's pretty much all I have to say for it in terms of a first impressions basis, is that we have another solid new map added to the map pool for this game. So with the map out of the way, let's jump over to my next point, and kind of the second biggest thing they added this season, the new game mode Point Break, which you're seeing gameplay of in the background. And at first, I wasn't really enjoying Point Break all that much. My first couple of matches, I thought it was okay, but I just kind of thought it was like Battlefield's Rush, but honestly somehow even more chaotic. But after a couple rounds and kind of getting used to how the mode played, I gotta say, it is a pretty enjoyable game mode. Because I found myself just, at first I didn't really like the chaos of the mode, but after a while I was kind of just embracing the chaos, just seeing what kind of crazy situations I could get myself into and stuff. And yeah, by the end of, I think I put about 2 or 3 hours into the mode, I found myself enjoying each match. I will say, being on attackers is way more fun than being on defenders. Who would have thought? I kind of saw that one coming, but overall I think it's a pretty solid game mode, and honestly I think it's a great addition to the game, having just like a more casual, it almost does feel like a more casual, chaotic version of Cash Out, which I think is something a good chunk of the player base, myself included, can really appreciate. This will definitely be probably my new go-to mode for when I just want to take a break from Cash Out tournaments and just shut my brain off and just shoot a bunch of people running around, because that's basically what this mode is. So overall, yeah, this mode is very solid. Great addition to the game. So, straying away now from kind of the big positives of the season, I kind of want to talk about something that I'm feeling mixed about in certain ways, because I think we are so close to having this executed perfectly. It just needs some small tweaks, and that is World Tour. So as I'm sure many of you know, World Tour is now just basically the game itself. It's not a game mode anymore. World Tour is basically just the finals, because you can play any game mode you want and progress World Tour. So right when I got on the season on Wednesday, me and Jace just started jumping between every game mode just to kind of see what the point distribution was like across the board. And basically what we found is that every mode, so Point Break, Power Shift, Team Deathmatch, Head to Head, those modes all gave the same points, which was basically 2 points for a loss and 4 points for a win, with the only exception being Quick Cash, which gives you 3 points for a loss and 6 points for a win, with Cash Out tournaments, from what I've seen, being the same. Now, if I'm just being entirely honest, I don't think the casual modes give enough points, in my opinion. Because at first, what I thought it was I thought they were giving points based on how long every single game mode took to play. But I don't think that's the case, because, you know, a mode like Team Deathmatch, having that be 2 points loss, 4 points win, makes sense. You know, it's a really fast-paced game mode. It can be done really quick. But some of these game modes where you only get 4 points for winning, some of these modes can drag on for a really long time. So honestly, in my opinion, I think every game mode besides maybe Team Deathmatch should be bumped up to where Quick Cash is, where 3 points is a loss and you get 6 points for winning. Because I just think, I don't know, they say they want players to play the game however they want, and they want to respect players' time. And if I'm being entirely honest, I just don't think the current point system entirely reflects that. So just giving some small point increases to those modes, and honestly, I think we will be golden. Because in the current point state, I still feel just an immense draw to play Cash Out, which I'm sure is the point. Cash Out is the main mode of the finals. But at the same time, I want to also just feel slightly more incentivized to just play the other modes. Not only as just when I want to take a break from the trenches that is Cash Out, but to just actually play the modes when I want to play them too. Because right now, my brain still just fully commits to playing Cash Out due to the fact that it gives the most points out of any mode. So I just think those small tweaks could really go a long way. But overall, the World Tour changes are probably the biggest W this season. As many of you know, I was not really the biggest fan of the World Tour system, if you couldn't tell by the fact I made an entire Riptide Ramble talking about it last season, so very glad to see it changed. And hope these small tweaks can just make it even better. And now the second thing I want to talk about in kind of the quote-unquote mid section of this video is the balancing. If I'm being entirely blunt, I just expected there to be more, you know? Last season, we didn't get any balance changes for 3/4 of the season, basically, and I was really expecting Embark to come out and actually kind of shift things around a bit. And if I'm being entirely honest, the only thing that I've seen that has shifted in the meta is more people are running Mesh and Dome now, and Lights are running the V9S instead of the 93R. So, to be honest, really not much has changed in that department. So, now I don't think the balancing is cooked yet. I really want to see a lot of buffs. There's a lot of weapons that could really just use a hand in becoming good again. One that I really just want to see become good again is the AK. I've been using the AK a lot, and it just feels extremely mediocre. Embark, give the AK its 36 bullets back, please. But yeah, I'm honestly just very tired of talking about balancing. That's why I'm going to keep this section relatively short. But basically, I just hope Embark keeps up a decent balance pace throughout the season, and I just really hope we can see some weapons that desperately need help get the buffs they deserve, so we can actually see people use more than one weapon on each class. Because right now, that's basically what we're seeing still. And I just want some variety in my gameplay, man. So that's all I got to say on balancing for now. Let's move on to the bad section. Now, the bad section of this video is comprised of one thing and one thing only, and that's matchmaking. I don't know how Embark manages to do it, but every season, I swear to God, since Season 4, the matchmaking has just gotten worse and worse. And this season is no exception. You know, last season, I would match against a Ruby player maybe 1 in every 3 games. Now we're down to almost every single game. Yesterday, or 2 days ago by the time this video went up, sorry, me and Jace played on stream for about 6 hours, and I think out of the 20 or so matches we played, in probably 16 or 17 of the matches, there was at least one Ruby player in there. And that is just absolutely unacceptable, because literally the highest rank I have ever reached is Plat 1. Jace hit Diamond 4 for the first time ever last season. And there's just no reason we should be running into players like this. I don't know who the skill-based matchmaking thinks we are, but the amount of pro players and rubies and, like, just these sweaty players in general that we were running into yesterday, it genuinely, like, it was exhausting. I was planning to stream the new season for pretty much the entire day on Wednesday, and I only ended up streaming 5.5 hours just because I was getting so tired of the matchmaking, and it just basically tearing us a new one. So, Embark, please, for the love of God, I've said this so many times, can you just chill the matchmaking? Why is there matchmaking in World Tour at all? Like, in any of the casual modes, if I'm being honest, just take it out. It's annoying. It's like, if you want there to be SPMM in the game, fine. Can you at least make it work? Because I'm not a Ruby player, dude. I have, like, an incredibly average KD, and I'm just not that good at the game. I am not built like these Ruby players. You got me feeling like an old man this season. Just... You think this is ranty enough? But my god, it's just... Every season the matchmaking is getting worse, and it's just making the game, honestly, kind of unbearable to play, because, you know, this whole video I've listed all these things that I think the devs are doing well, and then I hop on the game and I just get destroyed by pro players and rubies the entire time I play, and it's just not a good time. So please look into this, Embark. And before some of you comment that there is no SBMM in any of the World Tour modes, if you want, I can reply with a support ticket that Jace submitted one time to Embark Studios, where the employee that he got on the support message literally confirmed that there is SBMM in every game mode. So I don't want to hear any of that BS in the comments. But yeah, this is going to be the one bad thing about the season, is just the matchmaking is doing matchmaking things, and it needs to be addressed, because if the matchmaking continues to be this bad, there's going to be a lot of people who quit the game because of it. So, Embark, fix matchmaking. Alright, wrapping up here with just my overall thoughts on this season. This season, if I'm being honest, has just left me wanting more. The past 2 seasons were just so lackluster in many different ways that, honestly, I was just kind of expecting a season that was kind of on the same level as Season 2. And maybe that was kind of dumb of me to expect at this point, because we kind of know the seasonal structure that Embark follows now. But I still really think they could have done more. They could have gone a mile higher, especially since, you know, this is the season that's starting year 3 of the game. But for the content that was added here, it's solid content. It's a solid season. The balancing is a tiny bit better, but not much. And the World Tour changes, honestly, for me, are carrying the entire season. So, for me, this is the season that we should have gotten instead of Season 8. Like, Season 8 should have came at a different time. This, Embark, this is how you do a season during the Grand Major. So I hope they take some notes from this, because that's honestly my biggest thought on this, is like, this is the season we should have gotten instead of Season 8. So, for now, I'm going to give this season a 6.5 out of 10, just because it doesn't do anything too crazy. It's honestly, they played it very safe, which is fine, but I'm more curious as to how they're going to handle the rest of this season. Because while my rating may be kind of low now, if they do a good job this season, basically do better than Season 8, which is not hard. Basically, just don't abandon the game for 9 weeks, and it'll probably be better than Season 8. But for now, it's just okay. But now, as always, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of Season 9? Do you think it's a solid season? Do you think it's mid? Do you think it's bad? Let me know down in the comments below. And this has been the 10th Riptide Ramble. And yeah, this has been Riptide 807. Hope you all have a good one. Peace out, guys.